Hello, David Thornton here. Thanks for stopping by At Home Fine Eating. It's about time to cook some dinner. So let's get on in there and do it. It's a hot one on that motorcycle today. We appreciate you watching. Let's get to it. Let's make some Dave's beef and broccoli. Man, this is really good stuff. Let me go over the ingredients with you first. All right, we've got about a half a pound of flank steak. And for the vegetables, we've got half of a large onion, good size head of broccoli, and I've got 3, 6, 9, about 11 mushrooms. I had some extra mushrooms in the refrigerator, so I'm gonna use a few more than I might normally. Half a carrot. I had some nice fresh green onions in the refrigerator, so I'm gonna put one green onion in there. A couple of cloves of garlic, 2 nice cloves of garlic. I've got some beef broth, sesame oil, vegetable oil, salt, pepper, got some soy sauce, and we got some cornstarch. Now I also have got 2 vegetarian noodles, 2 servings of vegetarian noodles. We're gonna cook those towards the end. They only cook for about 2 minutes. It doesn't take them long. I got a pan to put the meat in and get it ready, and I've got another little pan to put the meat in after it's cooked. So those are the ingredients, and so let's get to doing some prep. All right, for this flank steak, bowl ready. All right, we're just gonna cut this long ways into 3 strips, and then we're just going to stack those on top of each other, and we're just going to cut this on an angle about a 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit more than a 1/4 of an inch thick. Let's put all that meat in this bowl. All right, now that we got the meat cut up, we want to salt it pretty good, probably about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Same thing with the pepper. We want maybe a tablespoon of soy sauce and just a little drizzle of sesame oil. Now, got me a good breath of that pepper. All right, so let's mix that together. Then we want to put a good tablespoon of cornstarch. And let's mix that together. We're just going to set this to the side and let that just marinate for a few minutes before we get ready to cook it. All right, next for the broccoli, we want to take the broccoli and we're just going to cut it into this water. We're going to leave a little bit of stem on it. Now we're going to boil this broccoli for 2 minutes and then take it off the stove and rinse it in cold water and get it to stop cooking. And then we'll set that aside for one of the very last things we put in the dish. All right, now we're ready to prep all these vegetables here. I'm going to do the garlic first. So we're just going to smash it a little bit. This onion, we want to just lay it on its axis. It's about half an onion cut the other way, but we're just going to lay it on its axis, cut that in half, and then lay it like that, and just thinly slice. Same thing with the other piece. All right. Mushrooms, we're just going to chop them right where they are. Green onion, we're going to slice it long ways a couple of times. Alright, and then we're just going to turn it the other way. All we got's left, the carrot. All right, we're going to do this the same way as the onion. We're going to cut it long ways, get us a flat spot, and then lay it on the flat spot, and then just cut it in thin slivers. Broccoli's pretty much done. Boiled it for 2 minutes. All right, now just lay them sideways and cut those in thin slivers. Yeah, I know, I need a bigger chopping board out. It's gonna be all right. All right, now we got all our vegetables and our meat ready to go. All right, we got our meat and all our vegetables chopped up, ready to go. The broccoli has boiled for 2 minutes, and I also wanted to tell you, I got the little oven going over here. I've got a couple of store-bought egg rolls in there heating up, but I always like to put my serving dishes on top of the little oven to heat them up. It just warms them up. Always nice if you can serve your dish in a warm dish. All right, so let me drain this broccoli real quick. And I want to give it one good rinse in some good cold water. Just rinse it and get as much of that water off as you can. If you put wet broccoli in your dish, it's just going to make it runny. Get that water out of there, and then I'm going to put it in a strainer and let it continue to cool and continue to drain. Alright, now we're going to have to boil our noodles kind of towards the end, so I'm going to go ahead and put some water in here for the noodles. There's my noodle water. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in there. Alright, now we're ready to start frying the meat and get that step out of the way. So I'm going to turn my skillet on pretty high. I end up putting it on 7 or 8. Alright, we're going to start off with a good drizzle of vegetable oil and a good drizzle of toasted sesame oil. It's probably about 1/3 of a cup altogether. Now I can see it smoking, so I know my grease is hot, my oil is hot. So we're going to go ahead and put this beef in there. Alright, we're going to fry this on high heat for 3-4 minutes until it gets good and brown. Alright, just keep tossing it over, turning it over, rolling it. Keep doing that till we get it good and brown. Alright, we're just about there. We're going to flip this over one more time. Alright, our meat is good and brown, looking really good. And don't worry about that stuff on the bottom, that just makes it better. Alright, we're going to turn our heat off. And then we're going to get all this meat out of here. Alright, we're just going to set that to the side. Alright, so now it's time to put our vegetables in. And we still got oil in the bottom of the skillet here, the wok left over from cooking the meat. So I like to put my garlic and onions in first. Put them on the bottom. Some carrots on top of that. Alright, we got all our vegetables in there now, so we're going to go ahead and turn this heat back up on pretty high. This will take 3 or 4 minutes. Now, if you have a lid, it'll help speed up this process, but if you don't worry about it. It'll just take a little bit longer. All right, we're just a couple of minutes into the vegetables and they're coming along really good. We'll let those cook just a few more minutes and get just a little more tender. Alright, our vegetables have been simmering for about 4.5 minutes or so. They're coming along really good. And I think we're okay to go to the next step. So we want to add our can of beef broth. We want to bring that back up to a boil. We also want to add salt and pepper. About another 1/2 teaspoon. And about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. We're going to let that cook and come to a boil and sit here and cook down for just a little bit. We're going to cover it up to begin with to get it heated up, but once it starts boiling good, we're going to uncover it and let it reduce just a little bit. Alright, our vegetables are boiling good, so we're going to take the lid off and let this reduce just a little bit before we thicken it up and add the meat and stuff. So we're getting pretty close to the end now. So I want to go ahead and get my noodles cooked so they'll be ready. My egg rolls are hot, my plates are warm. And we're just going to let this reduce down a little bit. Alright, our vegetables have been simmering here for about 5 minutes, just reducing a little bit and just cooking a little bit more. Now we're ready to thicken this up. So we're going to take about 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. We're just going to cover that in cold water and mix it up until it's like milk. Alright, we got the cornstarch all mixed together, ready to go. And we're fixing to pour this in there. Now you want to stir it almost immediately. So we're going to pour and stir. And you can see it thicken up. Alright, we're going to turn this down to about 5. And it's about as thick as I like it. I've got my noodles done and strained. So at this point, we want to add our cooked meat. Alright, we want to let that meat sit there and heat back up for just about 1 minute. Alright, our meat has been heating for about a minute just to get it back warm. Now we want to add our broccoli. And we're going to do the same thing with the broccoli. Just fold it over and get that broccoli coated with the sauce. Man, this is really good stuff. I know I keep saying that, but I'll just tell you. Alright, now we got the broccoli in there. We're going to let that sit for just about 1 minute and let the broccoli heat up. Alright, so the broccoli's had time to heat up. I've got 1 serving of our vegetarian noodles in my warmed up serving dish. I'm going to turn this off. Man, that's some really good stuff. Alright, we got our first dish made. Let's go ahead and make our second dish. Egg rolls just went off. Plenty of sauce. Alright, let me put an egg roll on here. Well, there you have it. Dave's beef and broccoli. Man, this is some really good stuff. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you stopping by At Home Fine Eating. And most of all, I hope you enjoy the food. Thank you very much.